Drew, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Yeah, things are going really well.
Good. Where are you in the world? Are you in Denver or are you in some other state?
So, yes,
Wisconsin?
I'm losing track on the last time I gave you an update, but we're gonna go back to Colorado at the end of this month,
Okay,
and we
after the show. Yeah.
that's right. And so now we're gonna stay for at least another 2 months because we just purchased a home and we got to get it set up. So
Good for you. Expansion
More
is happening.
Wisconsin, more Wisconsin, good stuff.
More cheese. More cheese. Okay, good. Well, um, we have a really, really good show planned for today. A very unique guest, and Alex Penfold. He is the owner of this skincare brand, unlike any skincare brand I have seen on Amazon. I mean, it is like he has built his own road, his own bridge, his own lane. He is like doing his own freaking thing. I'm excited.
I I love Jaxon Lane, their brand. As you know, Ian, we work with clients in the men's skincare and beauty space in general. And I'm really excited to talk to him about his story and hear more about his positioning, right? Because he's super high quality. He came into the market like at the right time, and like got a lot of buzz right away. Yeah, it'll be interesting to learn more about what his journey's been like and what he's focused on here for the future.
And he's just a really nice dude.
Yeah,
So let's do it. Let's jump in.
cool. Let's go for it.
Welcome aboard, Alex. I appreciate you being here today, and I'm very excited. We have a lot to discuss.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, welcome, Alex. I'm excited about the conversation.
Alex, we've known each other what, 2.5 years?
Yeah, almost 3 years now. So
Oh, okay, almost 3. Okay, good. I'm not good with anniversaries. My wife always complains about that, so that makes sense. Um, the reason that I think this is probably the most unique call we've done to date or episode is because of your approach to Amazon is so different than any other brand that I've had on the roster. Um, there's no right or wrong approach. There's just what approach works for you, and your approach definitely is working for your brand. So, but just let's go back to the humble beginning. So let's go back to like Alex 1.0 when he just started out of your garage or whatever. So tell us your story of when Jaxon Lane got off the ground.
so it all started with so my wife has a friend from South Korea, and she would bring these suitcases full of sheet masks back to America and drop them off at our house, and so our entire vanity cabinet was full of sheet masks. And I was not necessarily a big skincare guy, but started putting on these sheet masks, and just like really thought that I got a healthy glow from doing it. I started putting them on before weddings and date night, that type of thing. And I just found as a man, though, the sheet masks that were out there were not catering towards men's faces. If I ever had a beard or any kind of facial hair, they would just hang over the bearded part, and it was not really functional for anybody with facial hair. And also the eye holes would be too small and it wouldn't sort of extend out to your jaw. And so my wife and I were thinking, there's an opportunity here to make a sheet mask for men. And so we sort of, headed off to Korea and started meeting with manufacturers of suppliers that made high quality sheet masks. Korea being the mecca of sheet masks throughout the world. And just from the get-go, we knew that if we were going to make the best sheet mask, we would have to go to the origin. And so we birthed the Bro Mask, which, as you can see in its packaging, it's very loud. It sort of stops men in their tracks in skincare areas where, on the shelf, for instance, in retail, where they would never usually stop and take a second look at things, and sort of hit with a splash at the right time. It was a good timing moment with the product that basically catered towards men. Really, what we ended up doing with the design was to make it 2 pieces, so that if you had a beard, you could just do like a Batman style mask and then put the bottom around your neck below the beard line. We also sized it up with larger eye holes, and then also coming out further into the jawline. And at the time, sheet masks were just becoming popular. This is going back about 5 years now. And they were becoming popular in the United States, but then, also I would say that there was definitely nothing being targeted towards men. And so that really helped us from, the PR story. It's like when you're reaching out to these editors and, writers for trying to get inclusions in the product, you have to have something that's newsworthy and is actually going to drive clicks. And so we launched with one product, the Bro Mask, and it sort of kicked off a bit of a viral, news story, basically. And we were interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, and we were in their weekend edition for sort of the story of, like, not only are now men doing skincare, but they're also doing sheet masks. And that sort of, definitely helped us with getting our product out there and our brand and people learning about Jaxon Lane. And that's sort of the origin story. And well, it goes on from there since we've now launched a full skincare line. But, it was all about having that kind of hero product that introduced, new people to our brand, and having something that is, giftable. It's purchased by spouses for their men. It's picked up by men for themselves. And from then people were, it's like a gateway into our other products. And so that's really helped drive our business forward.
So I'm just curious, like, Alex, like, hearing your story about that. So the was Bro Mask your hero product? Was that was like your first product?
So I think that there's two strategies. You can come to market with a full skincare lineup, and have your marketing machine for driving people into all product categories, or you can launch with a hero product and then slowly kind of launch new SKUs, making sure that each new one will be an equally big hit. And so for the first couple of years, yes, Bro Mask was definitely our hero product because we didn't have that many other SKUs. I would say, in looking back now in the last 5 years, it's actually really helped us. The fact that we did follow that strategy of really carefully launching new products and making sure that they were best in class for each category that we were going into within the skincare routine, because it really helped us maintain relationships with all the skincare influencers, the skincare writers. Like, if you come to market with your 5 or 6 SKUs, then it's sort of, they lose interest in you after a little bit, because it's like, what are you bringing to the table now? What's new to talk about? And how do we engage these the editors and different folks that are fans of our brand on a quarterly or semi-annually basis, where they're really wanting to be a part of our story. So it's worked out great for us. I mean, of course, we've grown more slowly as a result of that, because we're a bootstrap company, but we have, by following that strategy, been able to maintain profitability from a P&L perspective, and grow without taking on outside investment.
Yeah. Well, here's what I find fascinating, right? So, like, as somebody who doesn't have a brand, right? Someone who's listening, or watching this video, someone who doesn't really have a huge portfolio, they're thinking about getting into a new category, right? Whatever that category is. Can I get away with just launching one product, right? 5 years is different than now. But what really, I don't think really has changed is that, like, finding that trend that's picked up some momentum. And then, the Wall Street Journal is picking up this story when you really have just that one or very few products in your portfolio. You're not a huge, super deep brand with, like, loads and loads of SKUs, and yet the Wall Street Journal is still paying attention to you and helping give you a lot of exposure.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to the reason for the founding of your brand. You just can't go out there and launch something because you think it'll be a hit. There has to be kind of a connection to the product and the reasoning behind why you're coming to market with this product. you know, all you know, stories have to have some real, you know, genuine connection to the actual reasons for founding the brand in the first place. And then also, I would say, focusing not just since the very beginning, we always were determined to build a brand and not launch a single SKU. And so, you know, if you're trying to come to market and come up with this one product that's, you know, trending and you know, it's going to be a smash success for the next 6 months to a year, and then it's going to lose interest and you know, the market will move on basically, then I think you're going to be a short-lived company, you know, and really won't be able to, you know, build in the long term if you're not really focused on, you know, taking that one product and then building upon it to continue the trajectory of the brand. So.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to glaze over the PR aspect, because you got a pretty nice lift on that PR, that Wall Street Journal. So was that an accident? How did that happen? Someone called you one day, or did you use some of your connections to get that done?
So when we first launched, you know, we launching with a sheet mask, we were very involved with this micro influencer community of sheet mask enthusiasts. And, you know, before COVID, we called them face masks. and, you know, even my ranking for face mask for men was, you know, incredibly high, and on all these different things. When COVID hit, that completely screwed over. So just, you know, the terminology, I'm calling it a sheet mask, but it used to be a face mask. Maybe it still is going to go back to a face mask. You know, we've had a publicist since day one, so that's one aspect that we really invested in from the beginning. But then also, you know, I would say that in the early days, the micro influencer community really helped us get the attention of the skincare writers. And so I think because we launched something called the Bro Mask, and there was nothing like that on the market. A lot of the skincare influencers, they literally would review a different sheet mask every single day of the month, and come up and post it and talk about, you know, the benefits, the ingredients, like a very detailed analytical review of each sheet mask. And I think, you know, when we just reached out, we weren't offering any payment, but we were like, would you guys like to try this sheet mask? They were, of course, like, yeah, I'd love to try this. You know, I'll use it for myself. I'll put it on my husband and see how everybody likes it. And I think that based off of the name, they were expecting it to be a low quality, but, you know, product with a big, like a marketing budget behind it, and just sort of trying to catch on to this idea that it's for men. And then they put it on, and they were like, hold on a second, this is like not only the best sheet mask for men, it's the best sheet mask I've ever put on. You know, that comes back to the development of the product in the first place, is, you know, putting so much effort into the formulation, into the quality. We use a hydrogel material, which, you know, is of a higher quality than cotton sheet masks. So this is like an extremely premium product coming to market, and it just sort of gained a lot of traction from the influencer community, just saying, well, I mean, like, I'm really surprised actually, and this is a fantastic product. And from that, we started having, you know, people that, you know, write for say Men's Health or Esquire or GQ, actually proactively reaching out to us, you know, saying, listen, I follow this sheet mask reviewer, and I saw that they're reviewing. I'd love to give it a try myself. And you know, a lot of our whether it be like retail relationships or you know, sort of press related relationships have actually been inbound to us as a result of this sort of, you know, small micro influencer campaign that started, you know, with humble beginnings back in the day. And then I think not only launching this one product that was very high quality, but then to come out with every single other product that we've released, won all these grooming awards and different, you know, sort of you know, commendations, basically has always kept us on the radar of the powers that be out there, in whether it be magazine editorials or other PR spaces.
Wow. I actually never knew the full story, and I've been working with you for years. I just never sat down and went, "Tell me the whole story of how this happened." But since we've been managing your account, the team always talks about your products like dropping an album. Like seriously, like when Jaxon Lane comes out with a product, it's like he's dropping a 14-song album that he's been making, professionally for a year and a half. He puts that much care and love into these products, and he always says, "I don't want to quickie it. I don't want anything but the best." So it sounds like the fact that you are kind of you're kind of coming in from an artist perspective and making the best quality products available, that the buzz kind of happens a little bit itself because you did the hard work in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, we do spend 8 months to a year developing each product that we release. I think part of the benefit of being a small business is that we are nimble in our ability to create new products and really catch on to new advances that have been made in skincare formulations, and really, we take note of that in our research. And the amount of times we go back and forth on texture with the formulation, on percentages with the different hero ingredients that we're putting into the formulation, down to what are the hero ingredients that we want to have in this formulation, really lines it up to be a winner when we release a new product. And I think it's easy to go to a manufacturer and just take something off the shelf and then put a marketing budget behind it, but then you really don't get the repeat customer business that you can get when someone, the biggest challenge that we have is introducing someone to our brand, because we are a smaller brand. But then once we do get them on board, they quickly subscribe and become a regular customer. And so that's getting the first customer, the first purchase is one thing, but getting the repeat business is what really will grow the brand and sustain it over the next decade. So we've always been more happy with a slower trajectory, but earning these customers and keeping them than getting a quick purchase and conversion and then losing them. So
I'd love to talk about that. That topic, this idea of, because I think there's a lot of sellers out there, they have subscription-based products. And our experience is many of them do not know the lifetime value of their customer, which means that they don't know the appropriate amount of investment that they need to put into marketing in order to capture and or retain them, right? Because you have two parts. You've got to get the capture, and then you have to have mechanisms to continue to keep them interested in your brand, whether it's cross-selling, which is really, kind of table stakes, or just kind of incentivizing them into new things, whether it's, we talk about beauty, but like men's kits, right? Setting up little micro regimen programs for men and keeping them engaged that way. What is, like, Alex, how do you guys look at that? Like, and do you measure your lifetime value? Do you really know that? Or do you have it just like locked down, just where your threshold is on like what an investment is on marketing to make something work like that?
Yeah, we launched as an omni-channel business from the very beginning. We launched on Amazon very early on. It was a decision that we made, that we didn't wait, and then also have always been very committed to our retail and direct-to-consumer business as well. Over time, we have become more and more focused on getting these subscription customers. As you guys know, the cost of advertising on Amazon has increased. How do we convert those Amazon customers to subscribe and save folks? On our own website, we're making in the next, we're always altering and improving, but we are going to be switching towards more bundling of sort of targeted, putting together routines that are more specific to a function and what you're trying to achieve in terms of results. And there's always ways to tweak and improve your site. I think that now also it's a much more of an importance to us with the bundling and the subscription, because we do have a lot more of a routine, since we now have a full skincare routine.
Right.
When we first launched the product, there was a lot of discussion about, okay, so Bromask, the sheet mask, you know, how do we actually, you know, really drive subscription customers on the sheet mask? And you know, the sheet mask is a once to twice a week, you know, product. It's a sort of a you know, an add-on to the regular daily routine. And so now that we have the moisturizer, the serum, we have 2 face washes now, and you know, the sunscreen, which has always been very popular and all that. These are everyday products that have really need to be on a subscription service. And so you know, going back to the cost of the conversion and lifetime value, we you know, when we first launched the brand, you know, it was a $14 CAC. You know, it's sort of you know, it was glory days, you know, back in the day, and then, you know, it has just gone up and up and up to the point where you really do start looking at the lifetime value number. And then because we do have you know, our customers come back, we have been able to still maintain you know, profitability, but you know, it has become more and more of a challenge. And I think that a lot of direct-to-consumer only companies right now are really facing a huge challenge with, you know, the future plans of their business, because it has, you know, the numbers have changed, especially in the last 2 to 3 years. And you know, the easy first-time conversion, you know, if you're not selling a $1,500 e-bike, then it's now become harder and harder. And so, you know, really focusing on our average order value has been, you know, another focus there to try to boost that up and up and really improve the offering for each customer that does convert.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a lot of sense on the bundling part, actually, Alex, because yeah, it's true. If it's $50 to acquire a customer and you can get your first sale up to $80, $90, $100 ticket, you're like, okay, you know, we're breaking even now with all the cost of goods factored in. So that's a really good point. So I talk to a lot of Amazon sellers who aren't really that passionate about their products. They're more passionate about winning on Amazon. Okay. You're kind of the opposite. Like you don't look at Amazon and make decisions based on Amazon. You don't make any decisions based on Amazon. You make decisions based on your vision of your brand. I know I'm speaking for you, but I've known you long enough where I feel like I have a good feel for it, and quality. Like you're kind of like, no, I want to make something incredible, and then I want to drop it on Amazon, and I don't really care where it lands. If there's a search volume, if there even is a customer base for it, you just go drop it, and people are like, I like it. And then another thing, and then you can comment on this, is your price points too. You don't fit the mold. You know, you're selling products in the $30s and $40 price point, and Amazon is like, it's gotten into the bargain basement world. It's $18.99, and there's serums out there for $8.99. So just talking to another seller who's playing that game, which is kind of a rat race, what could you advise that seller that's going the other route and you're going totally downstream or upstream or whatever you want to call it?
Well, I think, you know, what enables us, you know, first of all, we are making a premium product, and so, you know, we can command the price that we offer, but, you know, it really comes down to, you know, back to building a brand. I mean, that we are, you know, a brand, and we've been able to develop brand loyalty based off of people's, you know, knowledge that what we come out with is a great product that you need to try. You know, our serum is $46, our super serum. We came to market. You know, we just won GQ's Best Serum of the Year grooming award for the serum. And you know, it's sort of like the you know, the folks that are out there, you know, following our other products that have tried our moisturizer, our sunscreen, and they know that this is going to be a great serum. And we're, you know, we find ourselves really competing against not necessarily you know, your $8 or $12 serum, but we're really competing against the $80 serum, the $90 serum, from you know, major players out there that you see in Sephora, Ulta, and our price point is comparatively you know, definitely an affordable luxury compared to the people that we are competing against. So We really, you know, our formulations command, you know, sort of a weight, I think, that you would see, you know, in a much higher price point than we're offering. So I've never really seen it as like, oh, I'm going to compete against, you know, the price sensitive serum competition or moisturizer or sunscreen. You know, like I mentioned this to you guys earlier, but we're launched in Saks, and I was just come back from a whole East Coast trip, going through training every single Saks associate, and making sure that they're on board with the brand and learning about the brand. And you know, we have a $32 you know, moisturizing sunscreen, and it is you know, every single one of them would be like, oh my God, look at the price, it's amazing, like we can sell this all day, you know. So I mean, I think it really just depends, like you know, who is your customer and who are you targeting. And you know, for us, Amazon has been a vehicle for discovery, which has been fantastic because it opens up this market that you know, is less expensive for us to target compared to, say, your Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok advertising. But you know, some of our customers prefer to purchase on Amazon, and so that's fine with us. And you know, Amazon's always been kind of one of the three buckets of where we're trying to retail from, and not necessarily us trying to, you know, be a winner on Amazon and only on Amazon.
Fantastic explanation. So build a brand, omni-channel, which you've already mentioned. You have three buckets: high quality product demanding a better price. So you're not playing in that sandbox. You're just not. You're in a totally different world. And you know, you're selling a Lexus, not a Toyota, and you're just like, this is where we are, and we're true to our brand.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sort of you know, checking price points on Amazon of my, you know, of serum competitors or moisturizer or sunscreen competitors, and saying, oh, if I go over $20, it's never going to sell. It's sort of, yes.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got, I mean, Alex, do you know how many of your new shoppers come direct off Amazon? Do you have any inkling about it? I mean, not even quantitatively, but like, I'm imagining you're driving traffic, you're introducing this product in other channels. I'm sure people are coming through Amazon, right, to find Jaxon Lane, but you're generating purposefully that traffic off Amazon. And then if it's their preference to purchase off Amazon, obviously you're enabling that. But I also just heard you say like you're introducing new products there as well. So I just like to hear like, what's your general thesis on, you know, I'm going to go and start like I really want to go push and acquire new customers. Where does Amazon fit within that sphere of a strategy for you?
Yeah, we have had I think, you know, well, I can't say that Amazon is consistent because there's always something going on with the listing somewhere, or some sort of challenge or curveball that Amazon throws at us. But then, you know, we have similar issues with Meta, for instance. We were hacked on our platform, and we lost the ability to advertise on Facebook for you know, and Instagram for about 3 months, while we desperately tried to, you know, get our account back. And so during that time, we were really trying to track, you know, what is the drop in Amazon sales based off of, you know, because it's very hard to quantitatively, like, you know, measure. Like, okay, we don't know if we do a Facebook or an Instagram advertisement, like, you know, we can track the conversions to our Shopify site, but then it's sort of like, but then who's actually just going to Amazon and clicking and converting there? And we think, you know, we measure it at about 10%. So then, you know, the numbers, as we lost the ability to advertise, sort of slowly trickled down about 10% on Amazon. But then for us also, it's hard to then measure too, because we are continually growing on Amazon. So then, you know, it becomes a bit of a more complex equation to really measure. And it's, you know, in my opinion, it's just like, we just have to surge forward with this, you know, multi-pronged, you know, sort of strategy of growing retail, growing our direct to consumer, and growing Amazon at any cost, and then like never really wavering from you know, attracting the eyeballs from all these different buckets. And so you know, like even I don't see us ever really backing off either one of these categories, because I think it all plays in together. Like I'm positive that Amazon would not have seen the growth that it's seen if we hadn't have been doing what we've been doing offline, off Amazon with the retail growth and the direct to consumer side.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we've got a client right now who is about to go into retail. They're about to go into brick and mortar. And our guidance to them was get ready on your sales velocity on Amazon, because once they go pick that product up in store, many of those shoppers are going to have Amazon accounts, and they're going to forget to get it, to put it in their cart, physical cart. So they're going to go and get it from Amazon to do that. That's really cool. I'm kind of curious, thinking about the Justin Madahi discussion, right? He shared with us like really interesting timeline kind of viewpoint on what he's doing with all of his multi-channel marketing. What's next for you guys? What are you guys thinking that you're like, where are you focusing now in this year, maybe even next year?
For us, so we're, so Amazon has always continued to grow for us. We've grown, roughly about 60% to 100% year over year. With our retail and direct to consumer side, it's always an ongoing project for us that you can never throw enough work at to actually succeed. And so we, really working on, working with our existing retailers at this point now. We're with Saks and Bloomingdale's, and then we do have a few larger, like Cost Plus World Market, for instance, has our Bromask line, and then we're with boutique retailers across the country, with high-end barbershops and spas, like we're at the spa at Pebble Beach, and different areas like that. So we really took a step back, and there's always this draw to grow internationally, and we get pulled in all these different directions with opportunities in an international perspective, but I think that based off the size of our team, we really had to take a step back this year and really say, okay, how do we grow the existing business, and really focus on our domestic market, where we are taking steps with Amazon specifically to grow in the UK and in Canada. So we're launching into the UK and Canada market. But of course, that involves a ton of work in itself, because in the UK, I've set up a warehouse to have our product shipping directly from South Korea to the UK warehouse, and then at which point it gets shipped into FBA. And so, really, for us, there's more than enough work for us to do here to really grow our existing customer line at the moment. We kept on, from the PR, as we discussed earlier, we get a lot of inbound phone calls, and so there's constantly this question is like, do we take on another retailer to continue to grow, or should we really focus on growing deeper relationships with our existing retailers? And I've just been going around to all the Saks locations, training all of those staff members there and really getting them on board. And that's one way that really, can help you grow your existing business. And so we're continuing to do that. And then, of course, our direct-to-consumer side, we're really stepping up our influencer game, and continuing. Bullseye is helping us with that as well, and so throw you a bone on that one. And then really kind of increasing our awareness of the brand. So.
And how much of the three buckets, how much do you think Amazon's helped the other two? Like, do you think that it's given you clout when you go to, when you're on the phone with Saks, you're on the phone with Cost Market or Cost Plus or whatever retailer? Do you think your reviews on Amazon are being seen, and these guys are actually thinking, oh, this is legit. These guys are a big deal. I want this in my store. I'm interested in that because we talk to a lot of Amazon sellers.
So the buyers, do look at Amazon as a way to because it's easier to see sales trajectory and reviews that are out there, and just general feedback about the brand. So buyers are definitely looking at Amazon to see what they're actually working with. I think it's a little bit harder for them from the outside to really understand what the business is like on your direct to consumer side or even retail side. And so Amazon is sort of like a pretty honest picture of what the experienced customers are having with your brand. So that is definitely something that is one of the steps in the vetting process when they're thinking about giving you a call, or if you're going through the application process, and they'll do the background check on you and see what's happening there for sure. When we first started, I would say there was this question of is being, because we've always had this idea that we wanted to follow like more of a premium retailer track and have fewer but excellent retailers with a great in-store retail experience, rather than just go big box and into like a mass retail area. So that was something early on that we were like, oh, is this going to hurt our chances of getting into these sort of premium retailers? And it did not, and they were happy to bring us on. And I think today that picture has really changed to the point where you really should be on Amazon, because it just helps grow your brand. And I don't think any buyers are sitting back there saying we can't take on this brand because they're on Amazon anymore. So 5 years ago, that was still a question. You know what I mean? Like there was still a bit of a gray area of being like, well, most of our retailers are not on Amazon, but we'll take you on. Now, a lot of the everyone is on Amazon. So and again, why it's getting more competitive. So
that's exactly right.
So Alex, you just said something that I thought was interesting. So like you're just thinking from retail to retail, like going into big box, ahead of going into like boutique or high end, that maybe that was going to hold you back. Why do you think that is? I've got my instinctive answer for why that's the case, but why do you think there wasn't a conflict there?
I think it goes back to, again, the the trajectory of the brand and the excitement behind the product, and just this is such a cool brand, like we really want to bring this in, and we want this brand on our shelf, and so that comes back to the package design, the formulation, the PR efforts, the who's the grooming awards that we've won. That it's all about this sort of like all-encompassing buzz of a brand, that then I think is the final key driver for the decision of yay or nay on whether or not we're going to take you on board.
Yeah, sure. I was thinking it was like going to probably be more related to the idea that the clientele that can afford the price point, Target wants that shopper, right? And it's not going to hurt Nordstrom, right? To have that high-end brand in both places. It doesn't hurt Nordstrom. It doesn't really hurt, well, it wouldn't hurt Target, but anyway.
I think it is a challenge. So, you do have to look at how do you actually scale, your brand from a volume perspective. And, for us, Target, for instance, in the men's section in Target, the higher end men's products specifically are around $15. And so in the women's space, there's a bit more price flexibility, or a lot more price flexibility. But specifically in the men's area that we're playing in skincare, we would be the most expensive by and far, a long way. So, larger retailers like Ulta or Sephora, they can hold, put us on the shelf and have us be comparable to other brands. But that is, when you're at our price point, when you have a $46 serum or a $36 moisturizer, you have to also make sure that you're in a a place with peers in the same price point, and that you're not double or triple the cost of your competitor on the shelf next to you, because that, I don't think is a recipe for success. So.
Well,
Yeah,
that makes me realize that might have helped you on Amazon, because 5 years ago, maybe there wasn't a lot of $46 this and $38 that, and because these big brands weren't there. Now that these bigger, more luxury brands are on Amazon, it might help you, because you don't look outrageous on Amazon anymore. You don't.
Yeah, it's true.
You're kind of with them.
Yeah, I mean, when we we launched our bro mask, the sheet mask, at $7 per mask. So it was a box of 4 at $28. Yeah, I mean, every other sheet mask, the most popular ones were about $1 each. So then I remember, when we launched, people were saying, "Oh my God, like, this is not even in the ballpark of competitive with the highest velocity sellers." So, and now, we are and always have been the #1 selling sheet mask for men on Amazon, and it's and we're the most expensive one. So, it's I think it comes back to the development of the brand, and having that brand command the price that we're charging for it.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, that's really insightful, Alex. I've actually learned quite a bit on this conversation. Yeah, I'm off script right now, but yeah, I really learned a lot from this.
What's some advice to open that door to retail? So you obviously have had some buzz from the beginning, because you did the hard work of creating a buzzworthy product. Let's be honest, Bromask is a buzzworthy product, a great name. There's a lot of uniqueness about it. But what advice would you give to someone who didn't have that momentum, right? And they have a decent sized brand, they have a nice looking brand. How can they get into a Saks or a Nordstrom conversation?
Well, first of all, I think that you just have to have a very good idea of, the right retailer for you. I mean, there are retailers at every price point and every sort of category specific, even for us as being, our line, the Bromask, is obviously very kind of men specific, because it was targeted towards men. It was sized up for men. It was targeting men with beards. The rest of our line has come out, it's more unisex in its approach, which then opens the door to maybe some retailers that weren't specifically focused on men, but now that, they're interested because it has things that are, more appealing to their other customers. So I think, you have to have a really good sense. Like, if you want to be in Nordstrom, you have to go into Nordstrom and really browse the shelf and say, okay, honestly, like, my product should be on this shelf too, because look at the competitors, look at the general feel of what's going on in the room, and know that this is the right place for you to be. And then it's okay to say no too. It's like you go in and you think, okay, this is really not the right one for me, and then go on. But if you find the one that you know for sure that you need to be in there, then put the pedal to the metal. It's like, look at your LinkedIn. How, who do you know? Who's a connection of anybody that works there at that company, and make a warm outreach. So it's not just a cold call, and try to leverage your network to figure out who can perhaps make an intro to a buyer, or someone that knows the buyer within the company.
Good old fashioned knocking on doors.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no easy way to do it. Also too, you can there are buyers at trade shows. For 21, early 2022, a lot of the trade shows were canceled, but they're back up and running now. And then we met the Neiman Marcus team at a trade show, and we've been with them for several years now. That was 2 months before COVID hit, luckily. So, but we developed that relationship with them through that trade show event that we went to, and had a booth, and they stopped by and liked what they saw and brought us on board. So there's different ways to approach it, but you know, it has become a lot more competitive getting into retail, because a lot of the direct-to-consumer brands that were only D2C have realized that they need to really develop a retail plan in order to continue to grow in the current environment. So retail is no walk in the park at the moment either. So
Yeah, no, there is no walk in the park. Those are over. You know, all three of these buckets are hard. Google's not easy, as you know, a Shopify DTC. Amazon is anything but easy, and big box is something that a lot of my other Amazon clients only fantasize about. It's almost to a point of fantasy. If I can get into Target, I'd make it. That's always what they think. So that's why I'm trying to bridge that gap a little bit, because you've done it, and you did it you did it early in your brand. You didn't do it late in your brand. You did it early. So it's kind of like, what can we do to kind of bridge that gap for people who feel like it's just a Grand Canyon that they can never get past?
And I would say also that retail is expensive. And so, you know, you really do, especially when you're just launching, there's a lot of investment that goes into launching into retail, especially with big box like Target. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in addition to just, you know, getting the PO cut and delivering the product. There's a lot of marketing aspect to being in Target. And so, you know, you really, you know, hopefully are profitable on Amazon so that you can use the you know, the revenue and the profit from one channel in order to invest and grow the second one. And so, you know, that's why we've always loved Amazon, is that we have been profitable on Amazon, and we've been able to, you know, be sort of cash flow positive, and then, you know, invest in these areas that, you know, do cost more of an investment to get up and running in.
Yeah,
Great
Alex,
advice.
you may not want this in the video, but I'll ask it anyway, which is fine. Just tell us that. But like, what's your end game here, right? You've been doing this for 5 years. You've clearly got a really great growth path. What's the future? Like, what's your expectation? What's your vision for what happens with the Jaxon Lane brand here for you and the other folks that are involved in the Jaxon Lane?
Yeah, I mean, we've always been in this for the long haul. So we are really, you know, developing Jaxon Lane to be the you know, the premier men's skincare company out there in the marketplace. And so I think you know, unique to what we're doing here is that we are honed in like a laser on skincare specifically. You know, a lot of our competitors have branched into deodorant and hair care and beard care, and just general grooming for men. But we have really stayed committed to being sort of a skincare for skincare enthusiast brand, and we want to play in the space of just, you know, really being the top skincare company for you know, for men out there, with the highest quality ingredients and the best products, and not necessarily taking it too seriously either. Also, like, having a bit of fun along the way. And so, you know, we're going to continue to grow our brand, and you know, not take a quick exit just because we could, but then really grow something special, and you know, continue developing each product here that we really want to loop into our lineup. So.
Well, thanks, Alex.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, really great.
Well,
Yeah, this
thanks so much
was
for,
more enlightening than I
getting me on.
expected, and I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it's more enlightening than even I expected, Alex, because I actually kind of had it backwards. I thought I really had it backwards, and to the fact that you really started with that amazing product and that amazing name, and it is a buzzworthy product. This is what I'm taking away from here: is create buzz-worthy products. Because why should you have buzz if the product isn't worthy of buzz? Why do you expect influencers to give a crap, or retailers, Target, Saks, if it isn't worthy of buzz? And that is creating something unique, high quality, that is differentiated from the competitors. And you do it every single time, man. Every time.
I mean, you just have to put yourself in the eyes of the writer, right? The skincare writer that's sitting there looking at your product. He's got 10 other ones on his desk, or he or she, and they're saying, you know, which one do I want to write an article about that's going to be interesting to my readers? And you know, if you are going to come to market with one product, it better be something special that is actually, worth them investing their time in. And PR has always worked for us. Our publicist has done a fantastic job of getting this in front of, on the desks of the people that matter. But then at the end of the day, it's that product that really has to sell, right? You can have the best publicist in the world, but if it's not a product anyone wants to write about, then
Exactly.
you're not really, that's not going to be an effective way for you to grow the brand. So,
and with that, would you mind naming some of the names of your products? Because I feel like your naming is also just as brilliant as your packaging and what's in the inside. As you've done a good job.
We wanted to have fun names to all of our products. I don't have all of them here with me, but this is Rain or Shine. This is our daily moisturizing SPF 50 sunscreen. We wanted to basically, this was important to me because my dad has a long history of skin cancer. He grew up in Australia where the sun is really, incredibly strong there, and never wore any sunscreen. So every kind of month he gets something cut out of his neck or his eyebrow or his, all this type of thing. So, Rain or Shine is basically saying this is a daily sunscreen that you wear every single day. Whether it's cloudy or no matter what the weather is, we want you putting this on every day. We have Shake and Wake, which is our powder enzyme cleanser, because there's no liquid to it. It's literally a powder that you place into the palm of your hand with wet hands and wet face and mix it together into a nice lathery foam. And we were just, wanted to have a nice play on words for that. And, obviously the super serum we just launched is an all-encompassing serum. Instead of having like an ingredient-focused serum, this has all of the hero ingredients in one, which really is what made it super. I could go on, but
And then what's the last one you just launched? I think it's one of your best names yet.
Oh yeah, and so our latest face wash. So we have our powder enzyme cleanser, but we also wanted to have a gel-based cleanser. And with us being manufacturing everything in South Korea, we always have a little play on our sort of a holistic Asian ingredient focus, and so this one is called Boom Sika Wow, and it's Sika is another word for centella asiatica leaf water, and so that's the #1 ingredient in the product. Instead of using water as the the #1 ingredient in the formulation, we're actually using centella. And it's leaves basically your skin nice and moisturized and not stripped after using the product. And so yeah, I know whenever I come up with a new product, you guys are like, "What's the name?"
I know.
This is not going to rank well on Amazon.
I know. Every time I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna do, and then it does great, and I'm like, I'm wrong. Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's like nobody is searching Rain or Shine to buy a sunscreen.
Exactly. So. You're in your own lane, man. You're in your own freaking lane. I love that about you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on. I hope that people listening are going to actually really take advice here, because there's some gold in here that I think everyone can apply. And I really appreciate the hour you spent with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks. That's been great.